You know, I really want to know.
Because I think people don't pay attention enough in life to those sorts of things.
Right.
So like for you, what was the thing, the things you can think of that set you up for where you are now?
You know what? It all started from the Virgin Islands, really. From singing with bands, to club promotions, to having a radio show, to getting up here. And I wanted to do promotions. When I first got here to Georgia, I wanted to do promotions. But the promoters here are so nasty.
Yeah.
And I am such a good sport. I don't have a problem sharing, because sharing is caring. I always have that on my Facebook. Sharing is caring, and you're trying to give, and you're trying to. And I noticed that I can't come here like no butterfly. Like I almost have to fight like the guys do.
Yeah.
This is Atlanta.
Yeah. I learned a lot.
And the men monopolize the whole industry here.
But
I had a hard time when I started as well. So 4 years ago, I had a hard time.
It's not just that. It's the way they do things. It's not business.
Right.
It's there's a guy we know of, and he used to do promotions and things down here, and he partnered with a guy, and we actually went to one of their events, and this other guy took he took credit for everything that happened, and it was it was an A-list event. It went off really well. He took credit for everything. Didn't mention the other guy, but mentioned all of his other people. And to me, that was like the oddest thing. That you would do something like that.
Right.
And it did something to him. It did something to the other guy as well, because he started not trusting certain people.
Of course. Yeah. And it's all about trust when it comes to whether it's a partnership or whatever. If you don't have that trust in that person that you're going to be partnering with, it's a done deal. And my thing is just me coming from the islands, just really brand new, fresh. Of course, I had to get into my island people here in the States, and it's like, okay, they've been living here so long, they don't know that Mimie Acosta just came from singing with bands, and she's a band chick, and she sang with one of the most popular bands on the island, and she's been traveling and totally exposed. And I was like, okay, I need to set myself up for what? With these guys out here. You want to put on a show, but then somebody's going to go right next to you and do a show bigger, and you just... It's a very nasty industry. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe promotions is not just going to be the thing. So let me just start working for a minute and see what happens. And then I took on this job with the Department of Labor, which I gave them like a couple months. Okay. I was like, I'm going to give you guys a couple months to either give me a raise or let me go. They were like, Mimi, don't nobody quit the government.
Exactly.
And I was like,
she's bold.
It's a good thing. If this were tomorrow, I would go further down that.
Woman right here.
Yeah.
She is bold.
And this is, it's not the first time. In the Virgin Islands, I also worked for, the Department of Public Works, and it was really the same thing with that. They shuffled me around, and it was very high positions. So it's only so much you can do with somebody that either know too much or has too much experience. You could only keep me but for so long. Yeah. And then you just gotta let me go. So that's what I did. I just quit. I said, you know what? I'm going to go into this filming thing and this movie thing, and I'm gonna see where this takes me. And sure enough, I just dove in. I was like, this is what I was destined to do. So that's it. So when I say setup, really everything that I've done set me up for the next step. If I did this back then, I can do it now. Just turn things around just a little bit and make it happen. And then you also have to get yourself in the circles of people that are doing the thing. Everybody wants to do it for themselves. Everybody wants to do it alone, and they just don't realize
it. Sucks when you bumped into the wrong person.
Oh,
it's like. It brings your whole thing down. Like, should I continue doing this?
But the wrong person could be family, because she just said they want to do it. So we had family that were doing different things in the music industry.
Come on now, you never do nothing to the family.
No one wanted to come together to do anything.
And I was fine with that. I was fine with it. I was fine because I already knew that if you bring family into any business, everybody wants to be the boss. That's the thing.
But you see, the thing about it is that you have to do a list. You have to do a list, and you have to divide it down the middle. Who's going to be with you and who's not? Whose head is going to blow up? Who's not? You gotta have a have-not list. Yeah. And you just gotta kick out the have-nots and roll with the haves. Yes. That's how it goes, really.
But what if everybody have not?
Then I'm gonna tell you what. Then you know what you do? You get rid of everybody and you get with the circles of the haves. And it doesn't have to be family members.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody have a dream, and my thing is, if everybody, like look at you guys, for example. This is just beautiful.
Yeah.
So one person is doing engineering, one person is doing interviewing, one person is doing camera, and everybody's on the same page.
Exactly.
If you're not on the same page, and it's not even about one person being a boss. everybody comes with different hats. My thing is, if you throw an idea, she throws an idea, then you know what? This is it. This is what we need to do. Let's do it. But that doesn't happen.
Why did we meet her like years ago?
I know.
Things could have been a totally
everything
different.
is a setup for everything else. There's a reason why I didn't meet her then. No, I mean, really.
Okay, you got me on that
really,
one.
when you think about it, you know, so we when we did the Dirty South Idol thing I was telling you about.
Right.
So we hired this guy to be the host. Osei the Dark Secret.
B103?
From B103. And he came in, and it was weird because people were saying, is Osei really going to be here? Because I guess the guys around town lie about who's going to be at these places.
Exactly.
And we actually had Osei there.
Right.
He came in and he did the show for us, and we met his manager.
Right.
And his manager's really this, he's a cool guy. And we found out that they were actually managing a very well-known group at that time. We're like, get out of here.
Right.
So we lost contact with him, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Saying 2, not 09.
2 is the magic number.
This is
3 is the magic
okay,
number.
let's get this straight, everybody. This is 2013.
Yes, it is.
You're 4 years older than what you were.
Wow.
He's been saying the story so many times, though, but it's been 2 years every time.
It's been 2 years. That's what it is. I started telling him 2 years ago. I have no problem with getting older. 50 is going to be my magic number.
But yes, 09.
Yeah, so 09. Okay, yes. Perfect. So we lost track of him, 4 years.
Right.
We were taking the intern to the airport for the inauguration, and we went to one area of the airport, it's supposed to be the fast area.
Okay.
And we were like, this is not first class, because there was a long line. And we asked the guy, he said, oh no, there is no first class. I was like, what? So I said, well, we're going to go to the other line, and he tried to keep us on that line. He's like, no, it's just as slow as this one. He's like, no, we're going to go on the other line. We went on the other line. Standing right in front of us was Kamal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was odd.
It was fake.
I looked. I was like, is that Kamal?
Yeah.
He's like, hey.
Oh,
yeah.
He just so happened to be going to the inauguration.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
See, what is meant to be will be.
Yeah.
That's what I told you before we even started the show. Everything is a setup. Everything happens for a reason. Whether it should have happened 4 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, happening now, it's a beautiful thing.
But and it's the timing thing. Like we think we know when the timing should happen. We want everything right now. But right now is not when you're ready for whatever it is.
Yes.
Right. You have to wait and get seasoned, and then you'll be ready. For whatever it is.
Go ahead and preach, Woody.
Don't do that. and that's what that's what happens. Is think about it. If we would have had some of the stuff that we have now when we were in our 20s, we would be divorced. I mean, because it's it just would have been. We wouldn't have been mature enough to handle it. Right. So you have to get to that maturity to be able to handle the things that you can handle now.
Exactly.
Just like stuff that you did in your 20s, if you had done them in your teens, you wouldn't have been able to handle that stuff.
Right.
So it had to wait until your 20s. But it's just I love seeing that stuff reflecting. It's something happens and you just think, wow, if I hadn't have done this or I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have been in that situation.
But woulda, shoulda, coulda doesn't even work anymore.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now it's what we did what we did then. We're not gonna do that again.
We made the mistakes.
Right.
You've overcome the mistakes.
Are they mistakes though?
Well, no. What I'm saying is I don't regret anything, and I'm pretty sure none of you guys,
some obstacles,
regret. Yeah. You go through those things, and it helped because look where you're at now.
Yeah. Because the IRS is an obstacle.
Hey.
Dealt with those guys. That was an obstacle. So you got somebody here with you today. Who do we have here today?
We have Felipe. We have my fiance. This is my right hand go-to. A little of everything. We actually have a company called Mimie Entertainment together.
Oh. Tell us a little bit about that. I was just about to mention that.
I know. I tried to get to it before you got to your little tape.
No, you're fine. Felipe, how you doing?
Right,
Speak to us.
He was actually agreeing with me about the whole women in combat thing earlier. I'm not going to get him. We're not going to get into that. Let's talk to Felipe.
We'll get into it, but a little later.
No, I'm not getting into that.
Okay.
We're not doing that. How you doing?
There's a fight about to break out of here.
Yeah, exactly. So how'd you guys meet? I mean,
Are you serious? Okay, let's go there.
It don't have anything to do with that foot, does it?
No.
Okay.
He went there. Well, let's just say that 3 years after meeting, he learned shortly that, I'm also very competitive. So, he's a runner, but, I'm smaller than he is. So if I can get around the corner and up the stairs faster, he tried a shortcut. And, 6'3", you know, just mega football body, and then you try to shortcut the handrail. Yeah, I did some things. But
I don't know what she's talking about. I'm still 11 years old. My birth certificate might say 1976. I feel like I'm 11. So I called myself chasing her. She ran up the steps.
Okay.
And there's not a spiral staircase, but a staircase that only one side has a wall, the other side has a rail.
Oh, okay.
And there's a sofa that sits right beneath it. I call myself jumping over the sofa onto the rail trying to beat her upstairs.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't hear as fast as I used to.
See, that's so beautiful. You know that a couple can actually play like children.
Yeah.
You know that it's
and then we have my 22-year-old daughter looking at us like, "Are y'all serious?"
Yeah.
That she should only hope that she can do that.
Yeah, we understand. She's 22, but she look. We get that look too.
Yeah. Are y'all serious? Ew, nasty. Get out of here.
Yeah, we were running around the house one day. Like I forgot. I got this duck, and she bought it for me for Christmas. And he
Never
sings.
Buy Felipe a duck.
Okay.
That talks.
No, we don't do ducks. That's Aflac.
He sings. The songs he sings is "I am free as a bird."
Are you kidding?
And so middle of the night, I'll go into the kids' rooms and I'll play it, to bother them. Well, she hates the thing. So I think she was cooking breakfast one morning, and I just came down and she said, "Don't do it. Don't do it." And I had to. If you say don't do it, I'm going to do it.
Right.
And so I squeezed it. She's like, "I'm going to get that duck. I'm going to choke him." And we were running around the living room.
I don't know what I was thinking when I got that for him. I just thought it was the cutest thing. Christmas time, you see all these little singing animals.
It's love. I mean,
it is.
That's some serious love, right?
But at 3 a.m. in the morning, we don't do the duck.
Exactly. That duck is gonna come up missing.
His neck is vibrating, free as a bird. And I'm like, okay, no, we can't have that.
You know what? You have to watch what you.
Yeah.
That doesn't even sound right.
Yeah. So let's talk about
I want to hear about Mimie Entertainment.
Okay, let's get into that. Let's get into. Tell us more about that.
So Mimie Entertainment is a multi-service production company, and really the reason why I really wanted to do that was to help individuals get up. I'm always trying to help people. See, this is the thing.
Yeah.
I am climbing up the ladder, but I always have to set a platform for somebody to step on so I can hold on to their hand and take them with me.
Okay.
Really, that's what Mimie Entertainment is all about. If someone is having a party and they need someone to come out and film it, boom, we're there. If we have our own documentaries that we're working on, for this upcoming year.
Oh.
And we decided instead of hiring folks to travel to the islands or do the things that we need to do, we can do them ourselves.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing. I love cameras. I'm a gadget. He's very he's techie. Yeah, he's very techie, and he calls me the nerd, but I think he's the nerd. But I love cameras, and I like doing things. I love taking pictures. I love I love it. So I don't know a lot about it, but I know enough to make something happen.
Okay.
So my thing is, instead of us going out and making things happen, let's just make it under our own umbrella.
Okay.
Where we could have our own write-offs and we could have our own everything. And moving forward from there, whatever it is that we want to do, whether it's a show, like right now we have, it's considered an open mic when you say open mic, but when you're talking about, $2,000 prize, you're talking about East Coast, West Coast, competition. I don't know if you all have ever heard of that show, Who's Got That Vibe? Carol O had the show called Who's Got That Vibe, and she would put on these shows, and you'd come out, you perform, you win prizes, etc., etc. So she's moved to Vegas. And I used to judge on the show a lot. She'd always call me, "Oh, Mimie, I'm short of a judge. Can you make it out here?" Bam, I'm out. If I don't have anything going on, I would make it out there. And Carol and I became very close. Okay. So she moved to Vegas, and I was like, well, there's nobody doing what she was doing here. Because here, she had industry, A&Rs, and just everybody coming out to the shows. And some of these kids would get taken on right off the spot.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I can continue this platform and make it happen. And of course, she gave me all the permission to do so. Mimie, go ahead and do it because I'm doing it in Vegas. And I was like, you know what? We could even do an East Coast, West Coast battle.
Right.
Competition. And she said, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. So bam, we put that out there. Okay. We have all these studios out here that are hurting. You know, so it's like, you know what, we can actually even get one of the studios, you know, to go ahead and give us some studio time that would put them on blast.
Right.
So we're trying to find a way to help everyone in the industry get a little bit of the pie.
Okay.
That's
Basically.
good, yeah.
So that's what Mimie Entertainment is all about. Is all about us giving back while we're moving forward.
Right.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that does. Huh. And I'm assuming the name comes from
Felipe and Mimie.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow, that Mimie, I like that.
See, I couldn't get her to do anything like that.
Okay, our names, our legal names.
Oh, don't even go
We
there.
will not say
Okay.
because we don't know what our parents was thinking when they named us.
Okay.
Well,
So-
I know. I got an excuse. That I'm a junior.
An excuse?
Yeah, I'm a
Oh,
junior.
but yeah, no.
it's-
That's yeah. You didn't have a choice. Yours came by default.
I don't know.
Your mother, I
I don't know. My dad didn't even like the name. That's why he gave me that nickname. That's on my
Right.
page. So,
So that would have been an interesting name, Entertainment, whatever it would have been.
It would have been
A long name, Entertainment, then it would have been like, oh yeah, it's them.
We actually did have a school with the name, but we just used the first initials,
First
like E.H.
right.
Walton.
Okay.
Right.
But it's and it's odd because how we met. We were in New York. You know, I was some kid in school, and I was working at the Board of Ed, and she was, you know, I don't know what she was, and so a friend of mine knew her cousin. You know, and I've known this guy now, you know, since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And so we were out in the village, you know, kind of hanging out as a bunch of us. And then she walks out with her cousin. Well, they were walking into the park. I, meanwhile, was answering a page from some girl.
Right.
And so I'm walking to the payphone.
Play.
Stop. I'm walking to the payphone with my friend. He says, "Oh, there's so and so." And I'm like, "Okay." So he introduces me to her friend, to her cousin, and then I introduced myself to her, and she had these earrings, and I took one of them. Like, I just took one of the earrings, and both my ears were pierced at the time.
Okay.
And I just popped one of the earrings in, and I didn't give the earring back to her. Like, the whole night she hung out with us, I wore that earring. And it wasn't a small earring. It was a big, like, a big octagonal hoop thing. Yeah.
If you know New York, you know, the crazy back then in the 90s.
Right.
The guys wore the earrings, the big, what do you call that thing where they stretch the air, you know? The
Oh,
the big,
the
platform. Everybody was doing stupid stuff. And, you know, him with the big earrings.
So that didn't even, so that wasn't nothing special to say, okay, nothing out of the ordinary. Like, oh my gosh, what is he doing?
Yeah,
Everybody was doing something crazy.
Though.
Well, you know, was that your sign?
You didn't
was that your sign?
You're taking something from me, a Brooklyn girl. I mean, come on.
Well, if I'm going to keep it real, if I'm going to keep it real, the sign to me that, you know, I like this chick was, you want to plug your ears in?
No, we can't say that on air.
We can say you wore a pantsuit one day on the subway.
Okay, well, yeah,
I can say that. And then I saw what you was working with.
And that was after that was after the earrings. So it's like,
That's post earring.
Okay, wait a minute. That is enough. I don't even want to hear it.
You don't want to hear anymore?
No, I don't.
Well, last week we on the Sunday show, we were talking about the inauguration. And I said, okay, can I be candid about, you know, to me, the best thing about the Obama presidency? And she said, okay, go ahead, but not too candid. I said, okay, well, Michelle Obama's got a nice butt. She's got a big booty.
From WATB AM 1420.